So we're gonna explore this area. I think very interesting. Go ahead, Bakary.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sawaneh. First of all, I'm so glad to express my profound gratitude and appreciation for the confidence indeed in me to be part of you today on your weekly civic education program.
You're welcome.
Well, one must definitely thank you people because all the issues that you have been discussing over the years are all important and they are all geared towards societal development. Well, once again, Youths Against Environmental Degradation is a non-profit making organization that was established uh, August 2020 by myself, Bakary Janneh. And our aims and objectives are many, and the type of activities that we do also are many. But all the activities that we do as an environmental organization, they are all geared towards environmental protection. That has to do with issues affecting people with regards to the global warming and what we can do to mitigate the issue, as well as not only the global warming, but like when we'll also look about aquatic eco life system and forestry also, and also our immediate environment. These are the particular areas that we our focus is mainly on, because when we look at it right now, not only in the Gambia but the world at large, people are busy making money, busy going to school to have a better education, but very little of us care about the environment, our immediate environment. And there is a high tendency that if our environment is not clean, we cannot live a healthy life. So as a result, Youths Against Environmental Degradation came up with this good initiative to look after the environment of the Gambia, to ensure that Gambia we have a safety environment, not only for human beings, but only also for the animals in the forest and also aquatic life in the sea. That's why last month we organized a beach cleansing exercise to make sure that the beach area was clean, not only for humans' enjoyment, people going there for Sunday beach, not only for that, but also to make sure that the lives that are in the water are also safe. So as a result, we came up with that initiative. Also, we also help organizations or institutions with technical issues when it comes to the environment. That is why not very long ago, we were at Bundung Ward Councillor's office to help them with some technical issues because they wanted to embark on a tree planting exercise. So we offer those services for free of charge. If you look at our activities, what we do is they are all geared towards development in terms of the environment. And we all know that it is the responsibility of the government, and we also have our area councils, their responsibilities, and municipal councils, but they all cannot do it alone. So, as good citizens of this country, we believe that coming together as one and help the government, the area councils, and the municipal councils in trying to clean our environment, in trying to make sure that we plant trees in our environment uh, is necessary. And also, we also have a pending agenda that we want to embark on next year. That is green up the note. That's going to be our slogan: green up the note. That we have this agenda that in 2021 we want to plant at least 25,000 trees in the North Bank, because we came up with this initiative. We know that North Bank is the one of the region that is affected when we look at forest cover, because there are a lot of trees that has been cut down in the North Bank, and they lack a lot of trees, especially in the Badibu areas. Uh, uh, Jomi and Jokadu could be somehow better, but when we go to Badibu areas, it's worse. So we want to come up with this initiative 2021 to make sure that we plant at least 25,000 trees in the north bank, and also cleaning up the streets, public hospitals is also our main concern, and also planting trees in the societies, streets, and even in towns is also part of our agenda. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Sawan.
All right, thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much for the
And
information.
we're gonna jump
Thank you.
right
You're most
into
welcome.
it. As he explained the agenda of their group and what they're trying to do to preserve our environment. So I'm gonna allow the panelists
Thank you very
to
much.
just jump in, and then I can come in. But he mentioned Badibu and then the forestry in Badibu that I witnessed myself. Clearly, there is one tree here. You go
Yeah,
miles before you see another tree. I saw that myself last year when I went to the Gambia. So it is really important that we do deforestation. So, Sam, alas, who we want to come in?
Yeah, thank you very much, Bakary.
thank you very
Uh,
much, Your Excellency.
it was very informative. I mean, the last time we got also such a topic, I think you missed out, but it was going to be the best for you. Yeah, this problem we having with the global warming. Yeah, in fact, last time I was discussing with somebody uh, that people are surprised now that the weather and everything is different from years behind. I told him that's it, because you can imagine the whole ice, what is in the north, is safe there as ice. So when this ice happen to melt, it's water, and this water is coming in the seas, and the ozone will be higher, and then the rains, the weather will be more powerful, hurricanes and all, and we are just having just 1 degrees more. And now they are they are expecting another half. That means 1.5. So who knows
Yeah,
what kind of changes we are going to have in our environment. You
yeah,
can realize it now in Gambia. I heard that it's very hot sometimes, and the rains were too powerful. A lot of floods in certain areas. These are things the Gambia is not prepared for. That's why our last
yeah,
discussion about environment, I happen to bring these points so that they can maybe think of it. If you go to Asia, there are some islands,
yeah,
very sad. People have to leave their homes and move to the land because the ozones
yeah,
are, swallowing their places, which is a very sad story because they have to go to the land and
yeah,
start a fresh life, everything from scratch. You know, so, and Gambia is not an exception because we are having only 1.5 meter above sea level. That is not much. So, especially our
yeah.
area, we are. It's not a very easy place now. If you think of the global warming and so. Again,
Yeah.
I support your team. Thank you very much for what you are doing for Gambia voluntarily.
Thank you very much.
I
Thank
used
you
to
very much.
say, yeah, as a good Gambian, I used to say the government should always try to support these voluntary groups like you or Red Cross and all these. For the government, it's always cheaper instead of employing people to do what you are doing. And at the same time, he's giving maybe 50 or 20%, which is for you even okay because you are not doing it for money, but as support. You understand? So that will be win-win,
Yeah.
and that is a motivation for you, because we have a lot of voluntary groups. Because what you are doing, you could have said, okay, before I do this, I sit there and bring my attire, you know. So it's another mindset, Many
Yeah.
people think that way. Even if you say, let's go to the graveyard and clean, they'll tell you, am I stupid? And at the end, they are going to lie there too. So we have to be responsible. It should not always be because of money. You know what I mean? But
You're right.
yeah, for the government, it's the same thing. Before they take money and giving it to Yaed companies and so, all because of political reasons,
Obviously.
you know, they give it to people like you.
Yeah,
You are doing
obviously.
at least something for the Gambia, which somebody can prove. Like, look, you have weekends. Instead, you stay at home. You go and say, "I'm going to clean the Gambia." You go to the beach. You do that voluntarily. You spend hours. You know, the government should recognize this,
Mhm.
and not what the AI company is doing with her drum somewhere. You know, and that's where they pump the money because of a political interest. You know, that should change because for
That's
me,
obvious.
I support the people like
Politics
you.
has just engulfed
That's it.
everything.
But they always make a mistake. If you are doing something, always
Yeah.
politically, because of political reason, you know, we have seen it in America.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
end, you lose.
Yeah.
So always try to be a human being at the same
Mhm.
time and try always to think yourself, how was it when I
Yeah.
was not a president? You know, that will always bring you back to know the feeling of the
Yeah.
people because you were that did their shoes before, you know. But sometimes they used to forget that. And you know, the only people who don't make mistake, they always think about how was it when I was, you know. That will always help you. You know? So for people like you and the Red Cross and so, normally the government should support you a lot. You know,
Yeah.
here too in Germany, that's how they do it.
Uh,
They don't they
Bakary,
hardly get people, fire service people they employ. You know what they do? There
Yeah.
are groups like your group. You understand?
Yeah.
They do it voluntarily. So what the government is doing is to buy the cars, you know, for them, the fire service cars, and give them every year a certain amount of money for their other activities, things like that. You know,
Yeah.
so because the government knows they are also saving money instead of employing people, you have people doing that freely, voluntarily. So they ask
Yeah.
also what they can do for such people. That is win-win. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's in Africa, and I know many presidents or governments don't think of that way. Even for Barrow, it's cheaper than employing you. You're getting your salary every month. So at least you give the half and make sure that the job is still done. And I know
Yeah.
you people will be also happy and motivated from this thing.
Yeah. That is the
So
aim.
I mean, it's just a responsibility for all Gambians, people's responsibility, you know, because people didn't do it. You see those days when Janneh came, he said, okay, now by force. You understand? It should not happen that way. People should show themselves that this place is dirty. Let us try and do something
Bakary,
collectively.
Yeah. Yeah.
Need to mute
So
his.
I think for me, that's what I wanted to say. And thank you very much. Uh, and your group, Mr.
Thank you very
Janneh.
much.
I
Thank you.
hope that we have many of your group in the Gambia.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So happy
Yeah.
people, thank you very much. Nobody can pay you people,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you,
very much. It's the
Alas, for that.
responsibility of all.
Yeah, Bakary,
Yeah, Mr. Sawaneh.
can you put it
Yeah.
on mute if you are not speaking? Can you put
Hello.
your camera on mute if you are not speaking? Audio.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
So that way we because if you're speaking that way we don't hear the voice. I mean, but when you're not speaking, when you're ready to speak, you can.
Yeah, I know the place he is very loud somehow. Yeah.
Okay.
Just move.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how to mute it, right? You know how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, now he muted everything.
No, not to mute the screen, only the audio.
Audio, Bakari, only audio. We
Uh,
cannot see anymore.
Now we cannot see you at all.
Oh, now it's muted. Yeah, but we cannot
Okay,
see him.
okay, it's good.
Now
Yeah,
he.
it's
Oh,
good.
now it's good. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear us. Yeah, when you're ready to speak, you can unmute it. Thank you so much for that, Alas. Sam, you can come in about the environmental degradation.
Yep. Yep. Much better now. It's clear now. We can hear. Without the background noise. So, Bakary, thank you for your
Yeah,
time
that
and
was
thank
good
you
for
for
me
what
to
you do.
shout.
We really appreciate what you do, and I wish we have more people like you, but most importantly, I wish that we have a government that will stand behind you and support you for what you do, because environmental protection is critical. It's very, very important, and it really affects our lives. Planting trees is a great thing that you started, and I've seen people doing that too. And trees are very important. They play a very important role in our environment, and people just don't know that. So educating people on planting trees is very important, and also doing it. But my focus is what I want to talk about is, and what I want to ask you when we get to that point is, um, have you seek any assistance with the government and things like that? But also, have you approached the National Assembly, because the solution, the long-term solution for environmental protection goes to the National Assembly. Our National Assembly members really need to put laws in, very strong and tough laws for our people, so that once they put those together and in place, then we can they can also hold the government accountable to make sure that those laws are enforced. If that happens, one, people will not be just going out into a forest and cutting trees down, and two, it will not allow the Chinese people to go to our riversides and really pollute our environment and leave a bunch of dead stuff, dead fish, and other stuff behind that really get into the air, and the surrounding people breathe all of that. And I know there's also, I think it was a tire factory or somewhere where they burn tires and things like that, that the Chinese people are doing. They're also polluting our environment. There's a lot of environmental violations in Gambia. And unfortunately, the enforcement part of it is not strong enough to stop it. And so my word to you and my advice to you and my question to you is, have you talked to the National Assembly members to see if they can do anything to toughen those laws? But also ask the government, what are they doing? Are they enforcing those laws? Because if you put laws together and nobody enforces them, they still no use for the laws. The laws have to be there to protect us, but the government in power need to really make sure that they can enforce those laws by using the environmental protection agencies to do that. I will give you an example here in America. Environmental regulations are very tough, very, very tough, and no one can do what you want just like that. You have to follow the law, and if not, you face very, very, very hefty fines that can end up closing down your business because of violations. Because they have environmental protection agencies that go around and enforce these laws. They go inspect places, and when they inspect them, they write down their violations and give them the violations, and then they come back and check to make sure that those violations have been corrected. If not, they will fine them, and those fines can be anywhere from $50,000 per day per violation. So there are some that are very critical. There are some that are very hefty fines, and there are some that could be less than that, but you can get up to $50,000 per violation per day. So think about any company like the Chinese company in Gambia, really causing a lot of environmental damage in our riversides. Think about every violations that they have. With all the violations that they have, if the Gambia government had to fine them per violation per day until they clean it up, we can end up taking everything that Chinese own if they don't clean up. And these are the things that the government really need to enforce. One, again, it all starts with the National Assembly to make sure there are tougher laws there. And then two, then it goes to the government now to make sure that those laws have been enforced to the T, so that environmental protection will be a key and a very important role in our country, but in the community. But at the same time, have radio and television programs to enlighten people, to make people aware of our environmental damage and what people can do to stop it and what people can do to prevent it and all of that stuff. And also consequences of the environmental violations, are things that need to be discussed so that the general public is aware. So public awareness is very important as well. So people don't just throw things out on the street, that you're not just at home and you wash your dishes, or you have dirty stuff or something that is really rotten and smelling bad, and you go throw it on the street for other people to smell it, for our animals to eat that. For dogs, and the chicken that we eat eats those things. So there is a lot of things in environment, and it's a very wide topic. And I just wanted to see if you have done anything with the National Assembly. So go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
So
So
Bakary, you
I
can
think Bakary can answer that, and I can come in and then actually contribute my part. You want to answer that first, or you want me to come in first?
let Bakary answer.
You are on mute.
Now
You
you
are
Yeah,
on
can
mute.
unmute your line.
yeah, I would love to answer that first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Sam. With regards to the issues of the National Assembly, what we have in place is right now is a long-term plan. That long-term plan has to do with policies, how to call policy establishment. That is, we want to approach the National Assembly to ensure that at least we regain the forest cover. How do we regain that forest cover? Is that we want to approach them to ensure that at least every student, each and every student in secondary school, before you have your grade 12 certificate, you are able to plant at least one tree. So that is one of our long-term plan, because we believe that if that policy is implemented for almost 10 years, Gambia will not talk about this shortage of rainfall, this high amount of heat in the country. I believe if that one is implemented, we will not talk about it. And with regards to the beach side, we want to go out to the media to sensitize people. It is the young people who always go to the beach side to have fun. And these are the people who normally throw plastics and other garbage around the beach side. So what we want people to do is, what we want to sensitize people on about that is that when you go to the beach side, you go there with your plastic bags or any type of bag, whatever you eat at the beach side, you don't throw it there. You just put it in that bag, simple, and you just come back with it, throw it in the dustbin. I think that is one of the simplest way that we can mitigate that issue if we want to clean up our beach side. Because if we don't do that, last week Sunday, I was at the beach side myself, on my normal patrol at the beach side. I saw this live trading a net with the wood, how to call metals attached to it. It was in the water, so I request few boys, to remove it because they were playing football in the water. I asked them to remove it, but they refused, or I believe they were afraid to go for it. So I then decided to remove my clothes and go in for it to bring it out. So when I bring it out, I was searching on it if I will find any uh, living being on it, and I was able to discover three crabs trying to get their way out of it, but they could not. If those crabs did not have assistance, they would have died in that place just a short while. So this is one of our long-term plan uh, that we want to sensitize people with regards to the beach side cleansing exercise. Well, policy implementation, although it's not easy, but like what we need to do is to come together and struggle to fight the battle. Although it's not easy, because some people, even myself, some people will tell me, uh, are you now, are you guys are called KMC or BCC? So those are stereotype statements that they will be sending at you when they look at you or see you. trying to make sure that the environment is clean. They will tell you, or they will call you all sort of names, thinking that it is only the responsibility of the KMC to clean up those areas, or Brikama Area Council to clean up those areas. So this is what we are trying to do. But right now, we are struggling because we are newly formed, and we have a lot of agendas right now. So we are trying to make sure that we fulfill all this in 7 years. And I'm sure that if we are able to fulfill these agendas that we have, is going to be a milestone. And also with regards to, like you said about, you as you mentioned about the National Assembly, to bring a motion before the parliament is not something easy. So we have to sit and consult lawyers, and that one has to do with certain how to call certain things has to be in place before we do that. So that is why we are just crawling at the moment. So we are using our strength to make sure that what we can achieve as of now from our own strength, we do that. So you see, right now myself, I have a lot of nursery plants in my compound. So and they are not on the ground. So when some people see them, they feel otherwise. They are surprised. They would ask me, "What is this? What are you doing? What does this mean?" So easy because I have nostrils not on the ground, but they are on the whole of our fence. I put them on the whole on the fence like this, so they are just lined up there on top. So some people ask me, what is this? What does this mean? So you see, why are you guys doing this? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell it or what? Or you are going to have you want to plant it? Why are you going to use this? So, but anytime I try to explain to them what the organization is all about, most of them they feel amused of what we stand for. That is it as of now. But so our this long-term plan of meeting of passing the bill before the parliament, in trying to make sure that at least every student plan 1 tree before graduating from secondary school will soon come out, inshallah, before the end of 2022. Yeah, it's a long-term plan, and we hope to achieve it with collaboration from different partners. Yeah, that is the answer to that question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
Mr.
let
Janneh.
me do a follow-up on my question here. So thank you, Mr. Janneh, for that. And I really appreciate your initiative and all the things that you guys are doing. I just want to comment on one area, and that is when you said you have to take lawyers to go to the National Assembly. I don't think that's necessary because the National Assembly members are there to work for you. They are working for you, and they're working for the people that nominated them. So people should be free to go to them and say, hey, here's our problem. National Assembly members are lawmakers, they are not experts. They don't know everything. And so somebody that knows something should be able to go to them and say, hey, this is an environmental damage for us. We need to do something about it. What do you know about it? What can you guys do? Can you add something to your list of things that you can address at the National Assembly, or get with your committee, because in the National Assembly has their own subcommittees and committees. And so that National Assembly, your representative can say, yep, I'll take note of this and I'll go and then I'll talk with my other people. Maybe they can bring it up for them to talk. There should not be a middleman between you and the National Assembly members calling the lawyers. I don't think you need lawyers to talk to National Assembly members, because they are nominated by you and they represent you in the community, and we should have free communication between them and them. Here in America, I have contact information for congressmen. I can sit here and type an email and send it to a congressman right away. I get things that get sent to me for me to put in my input, and I see that every week I get emails from state representatives and congressmen in my work email, and I get them. So I can send them my suggestions. I can send them things that I thought, you know what I mean? So there should not be a lawyer between you and them. You should be able to just freely communicate with them. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank you,
much for
sir.
highlighting that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
Please, Mr. Sawaneh, can you allow me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
okay.
gonna contribute also to the good work that you and your team are doing. I've seen it on Facebook. Preserving the environment is very important, and it's not only the job of the government, but us as citizens as well. I think it's about time for people like you to to start doing things instead of waiting for the government that is not focusing on those things. You can put your can you put can you put Bakary, Bakary, can you put it on mute again? Yeah, thank you. So instead of waiting for this government to do stuff for us, we need to start doing it for on our own. And you guys, as youth, has really taken the initiative in doing this. This is so great. I mean, we need more of this. Instead of like sitting and blaming, we should take action. Action speaks louder than talks. Action speaks louder than words. So I think it is a great initiative to protect our environment, especially planting trees. You mentioned Balibu suffered a lot. That is true. I witnessed it myself last year when I was there. I drove from Farafenni to Suarekunda, passing Kerawan, and I barely see trees. I was asking the folks that I was with, I was asking them what happened. Because when I was growing up there, we used to have a lot of trees. We used to have big trees that we were so scared to even sit under because we think those trees have genus and stuff like that. That's how much thick of a forest we used to have. What had happened? What were they doing? Are they using all these trees for firewoods, or is somebody just came from somewhere, starting cutting all our trees? And that's why we're having rain problem, even in Badibu area. So it is highly important to encourage tree planting. If you look at the United States of America and other European countries, every I can say every like 12 feet or so, there's a tree. The government taking initiative, planting tree in front of your house, in public places. They don't even take permission from anybody. They make sure that trees are planted all over. That's why they turn green. I mean, we need to start thinking along that line instead of, like having to like, just leave situation like that because it's not the government's focus. They are thinking that perhaps those things are not important or, it's a waste, but it's not. That is what is bringing us rain. And not only that, people benefit from trees. They can, eat fruit, their fruits, they can do a lot of things from that. So I think you should continue with that initiative, having to, like seek help, not only from the National Assembly, but even outside donors. I mean, I think, this is a great cause to, to really, um, uh, put your money in. So I think you're gonna get, something for that. Now, in terms of like cleaning beach sites, I've seen you guys are doing that. I'm also concerned about like do you do does I mean you guys work, does it also extend to like sanitation also, or are you just preserving like trees and then animals and so forth? Because when you talk about environment, um, it might also touch sanitation. People, the cleanliness of the environment is also a key. So I don't know if now or in the future you guys gonna expand on that, but that is one of our health, issues in the Gambia because our environments, especially in the combo areas, are not clean, and we sit with those, polluted environment, and then end up escalating, health issues in our community. So it's very much important that we look into that. Are there other groups who are handling that, and you guys are focusing on the animals and trees? So those are the questions that I wanna like find out if you can answer that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sawaneh. Yeah, really, really, you are very right. If you look at North Bank before, maybe then I did not know the place, especially the Badibu areas. And now, if you look at it, it's a different story because you will drive a long distance without seeing a complete tree that one can see and feel happy about. So that is really something happening in the North Bank. When you talk about sanitation, it's also part of our agenda because we have a department. We have different departments. We have a department of environmental education. Those people are responsible for educating the society about the environment. We also have a department of climate change control and research. So we have various departments. We have a department of mediation and strategic planning. So those people are they are like whenever we have a situation in certain areas where I know that people suffer a lot from how to call waste, like they feel the odor is not welcoming in their area and they try to fight it out and they could not. So these are the people responsible for mediating those issues, to talk to the authorities responsible, to to relate with them, to tell them how dangerous it is to live in such kind of environment. So we have we have all those departments with us, like and also right now, why well this end of this rainy season, we have a plan, that is there are some places in Brikama area, Brikama, that we wanted to clean. We have that plan, but we don't have the resources, because those places, in order for you to work on those places, they are so dirty that like you need to have some materials with you. You need to have gloves with you, standard gloves with you, and you also need to have a mask with you. So these are some of the things that we lack. Why that's why we could not work on that, and it's also part of our aims and objectives to work on public places, because most of the times if you look at these public places, sanitation there is just terrible. So we have to make sure that most of those places are conducive for people use. We have a lot of departments with us. It's just that we are beginning. That's why their activity is not that much seen. But as time goes on, we will all be engaged in one way or the other. It's really part of our plan to make sure that people live in a clean and a conducive environment. Gambia here markets like Brikama market, those places are not worth of buying foodstuffs. Obviously, even in front of Adamabaro or in front of Sirifo Sonko, I can stand and say that Brikama market is not worth of buying foodstuff, because what happened is those foodstuff that are sold at that place, the environment, if you enter there first, the order that will welcome you is not conducive. But like you have people there sitting in that kind of environment because they have no other option. They have to sit there, sell their goods. You see, but despite the fact that the atmosphere is life threatening to them, but they have no other option. They have to sit there. So we have to engage the local authorities, that is the area council. Last time, the massive cleansing exercise that was done in in Birkama here was 2018. That was 2018 when VP Ture, alongside other people, NEA, KMC joined to help Brikama Area Council to clean up the market. So obviously, like when you look at it, when you look at that, that was since 2018. Today, if you go to Brikama Area Council, if you go to the Brikama market, you look at the place, and they tell you that there are foodstuffs that have been bought here. People are depending on this place for their daily lives. It's terrible. Some people will not believe it. Those who are not used to the market, if you go there, you feel otherwise. Why are people buying foodstuffs here? You see some organisms, in the water. You see nasty water everywhere, and that automatically or obviously should not be. The simple fact is that the ways that should be used for the how to call drainage, those ways has been blocked. So there is no movement of the water. So the water has to stay at one place. You see. So these are some of the issues that we also have as long-term plan. But it's really difficult. It's really difficult here. Like like Mr. How to call the previous speaker asked me, with regards to the issue
Others.
of the National Assembly. It's not easy, obviously, because last time we want to register at the AG chambers, when we reached there with our constitution, we were they hit us in such a way that it seems like when I explained to some people, they what they responded me is that they want you people to feel they want to discourage you people, and that's obviously because what they told us that day, we don't expect that, and we are not with that amount of money with us. So we went there to register our organization. So the guy there did not look at anything. He just looked at the other lady, just looked at the paper and took it to him. He was busy typing something with his computer. He just looked at the document, go over the files, and told the lady that they have to pay 2,000 before they can register. I was so surprised. Why should we pay 2,000? And after knowing that this organization is, we are not in for any business. We are non-profit mega organization. Why should you charge us for 2,000 because we want to register? So you see, when we were able to draft our constitution without paying any money, we went to GRA. They looked at our everything. They gave us a tin. So we went to the AG chambers just to register. When people will come there to register with only $500, so you ask us to register with $2,000. It's like that they were trying to discourage us. So that's why when we also talk about this long-term plan, uh, we deem it necessary before such issue hit us. It's better that we see parliament honorable lawyers to draft us a good bill before we can pass it to the parliament. It is quite true that USA is quite different with the Gambia here. You will all bear me witness that there are people there in the parliament. You know that they should be representing the people, but the fact is that they are not. So you see, if you approach them, with certain issues, they might try to shy away from it, or they will just be how to call, be promising you can come this day. They'll just be failing you. So you see, so that's why we deem it necessary that before we do this, we have to hire a lawyer to draft us a good bill so that when we pass it to the parliament, it will not fail. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Sawaneh.
All right. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much
much,
for
Mr.
that
Janneh.
highlighting that. And Alice and Sam,
Yeah,
do you have a follow up?
yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Janneh. From my observation here, I think our officers and generally people should try and understand your purpose or the purpose of your group first. I think then to work with you, because if you look at it, there is no law who says that they should help you. So people understand that. If you go to the parliament, they can also tell you maybe why, because there is no law written that the government should do that. So you always have to. What I will advise Bakary is you always try to explain to them why and what is your purpose, and that is non-profit organization. You know, because I know it's a poor country, and want to talk about money, there is always a problem. But I think you have to go to certain people, like if you can even go to the first lady, because they are purposely for such things, because they do a lot of things which are not officially written anywhere that is a law, like going to a hospital, helping people, and things like that. Um, I think it's the person you can easily work with together and with support. The government can do that normally because, as I said, before employing people to do that, they have you, and you are motivated and ready to do it. And even if you just have a little bit support, the job will be done. So it's a win-win situation. When the government don't see it like that, then you have to try and see a way to contact the borough or the parliamentarian or the first lady, which I think she will be very active to help you people and work with you hand in hand. But to take a lawyer somewhere and so, I don't know whether it's going to be easy because there is no law for it. You know, you are not doing it for profits, but you are just patriots, good citizens. You know, and what you are saying about Bill Karma, I mean, that is it. People need to be informed.
Even
People
become a
need to be
citizen.
informed because, yeah, the health of the person selling is one. Two, the flies are flying from a dead place and then going to the food. It's another disaster. So the person buying that, taking it at home, if he or she forgets to wash it, that's it. So, we are living in a very dangerous environment in such places like such a market, which is the how to call it, the area council. The councils are responsible for it, you know. But if you talk, they'll say maybe because of money. But they have you people, you know. For example, before they think of that money, when they say, okay, it costs 100, if we give them 20, the job will be done. They should be even active to do that because for them, that's why I always say it's win-win, you know. Officially, you are not doing anything for the government, but unofficially, you are doing a lot of work for the people of Gambia. So if you need help, I don't think when people really understand your organization, they will try to harass you or disappoint you, but they should understand and try to help you earlier and work with you. Even the government should try and work with you, which is going to be cheaper. You understand? And what people are saying, for example, I nearly laughed when people were saying your trees you have there, what are you doing with it? That's why I say people need to be informed that they know that trees are important. You know, that's where we have our rains and things like that. You know, trees filter the air for us also. You know, uh, but you must first know all these importance. Or for example, the beach. You know, when it's very dirty and so one, it will discourage the tourists. Two, it's not good for the health of the people and even the health of the fish because they come and eat such things. They can even eat plastic and die, because plastic is not made for them. So there are certain things, but the people should first be informed. Why should we, you know? And I think in our place there is a lot to do. I mean, I'm very thankful that we have people like you there who are concerned about our environment and the health of the people, and not only yours. So I'll be very happy when people from the parliament or any guy who can connect you with the first lady, I would advise because she used to support such organizations and try to say, hey, we are here. That's our aim. That's what we are doing, but we need support. Officially, we are not allowed to ask any money, but that is a non-profit organization. We are volunteers and we do it. So it's all communication. I think they'll help you. People must really understand your purpose, then it should be no problem. I hope. And thank you very much.
All right, Sam. Thank you, Alas, for that. Sam, what do you think about this area? Because I think this is an area that we definitely sometimes we neglect.
Absolutely. Very important part. And of course, it's always sad when I see videos or pictures of our markets in Gambia and how people are in the markets selling food to people, food that we're going to consume that can end up making people sick. It's really sad that our area councilors and area council in general not putting certain things in place because they have an act in the National Assembly. There's something that they can put in place. Not only, even if it was in National Assembly, they should have some things that they can put in place to make sure that the market areas, the market is safe and clean for people. It's a safe and clean environment. So, um, and what I would say to this is for Bakary again, I know in Gambia, um, people don't know their priorities sometimes. Even our politicians, our certain people in the office, in I would say the public servants and civil servants that are in the office sometimes don't know what their responsibilities are and don't really fully understand their duties and why they are there. They should understand that they are there because of the people. They need to listen to the people. They need to be able to promptly help people when they come to them, and not try to discourage them from doing something like what Bakary is doing something great and really discouraging them. And I was going to tell Bakary, when it comes to food safety, I can really help them. If they need any consultation or anything, they should feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help them and give them ideas, but also tell them what things need to look like, even though it may be an American standard, but I can at least guide them in the right direction
Right, right, right.
to get from where they are now to the next level until we get to the next level, until we get to the next level, step by step. But what he was doing at the beach side too, that really shouldn't be his responsibility. And his group, yes, they are volunteering, they're helping, but it really should be the responsibility of the area council, the environmental people. They need to have, if you don't want people to throw trash everywhere, plastic bags everywhere, provide them something they need to put it in. They need to have dustbins in the beach sides where people can come and have a party, a picnic, a birthday celebration. But when you finish, clean up, and here's where you put it. They're not going to take it and clean and put it back in their cars or put them in plastic bag and carry it back with them. They're not going to do that. People are not going to do that. Nobody has time for that. And nobody wants to take trash home. People want to get trash out of their homes. So if you provide them a place to put the trash, they are more likely to be encouraged to pick up after themselves, clean after themselves, and here's a place to put it. They can put it on a dumpster there or a trash bin where the area council people in that area can come and collect them on a weekly basis or so. But there is a lot to be done with the environment. There's a lot to be done in Gambia, and we just need to get the right people to talk to the right people, and the National Assembly members really need to understand that. I don't know, there are some great ones in there. They understand their job, but there are some of them that really don't know that they are there because of the people, and they need to listen to the people and take people's concerns and take them seriously and see what they can do from their end, because an outsider cannot make a law for Gambia. This is a non-profit organization. They are not the lawmakers. They cannot write a law. They cannot go to a lawyer and say, draft me a law. You have to go to the National Assembly members to do that for you. But tell them your idea, tell them what is your purpose and why you're doing this. Talk with them so they can help you do something, rather than trying to do it from your end. It's not going to work that way. It doesn't work that way. I cannot go to U.S. Congress and say, here's my law. I want you
I want to do it, yeah.
They can tell me, who the hell are you?
They ask you, where is it written
That's
on the
true.
law?
And then I am very much shocked by the news and what I've seen myself when it comes to Brikama Market and other areas. People in the water, dirty, filthy water, selling stuff that other people will have to consume. Is very heartbreaking. We don't need that kind of environment. I don't know what the area council and the municipality, what they're doing, but this is a health as hazard, because we, first of all, Gambia don't have the medical necessities that we need in that country to sustain our health. Now, on top of that, we are creating an environment that is going to cause us more health issues.
Yeah.
We are in double trouble here. We don't have the medical facility to counter that, and now we are actually putting more problems in our hands by having, those areas, people selling in those areas, touching those things. I mean, it's sad. What Bakary was saying, you cannot even, you cannot comprehend it. I've seen it on Facebook. And actually, I have even walked through that area when I was there last year in Brikama. You have to pass. There are certain areas that, like you have to pass to divert the area just to make sure that, like you don't fall a victim of, maybe having to get in touch with any kind of things that could cause disease. So we need to wake up. We need to put efforts. Our environment, if we don't take care of our environments are not going to take care of us. They're going to give us sickness. They're going to give us health issues. So littering, people throw things everywhere. I mean, nobody even look at it. Every place is a dustbin. you get trash, you throw it anywhere. Nobody has a commitment. Nobody has an enforcement. There's no. I mean, we are not taking care of our environment, and that's why we don't have probably industrial pollution in the Gambia because it's not an industrial country. But we have soil pollution in the Gambia. A lot of things goes in our soil. They become a pollution. Sam can attest to that. He's a health person. He knows. So we are not polluting our, like I said, our atmosphere, environment. I mean, like industrially, like with big factories and so. But we're doing it by dropping everything on the ground and inhaling that and having our species eat those things. So I think what Bakary is saying is that this should be a wake up. This should be a wake up call to this government and then to the parliament, because the parliament need to know that people elect them. It's not about like having to be there as a political tool. You are there to look at the whole entire nation and come up with plans and come up with areas that can improve the lives of the people. But our people's life is not by buying them into politics. That's not improving the life of the people. The life of the people is creating stuff, creating a system, creating an environment where people will benefit health-wise, where they can grow, where they can become, like be able to use what they have to better their life. So I think groups like that, we need to encourage them. And it's like Sam said, if they need help, personally on my end as well, since I'm involved in youths, I've supported youth organizations. I've created one, and then I've engaged in many. I wouldn't mind, definitely looking at areas, especially tree planting. Tree planting is something that I'm very much interested in, and and sanitation. So I wouldn't mind reaching out. If they can reach out to me, I reach out to them, and I'm pretty sure people would definitely look into this kind of thing. But the government and our lawmakers are not doing enough. That's why we are having this situation. So, like your last words, guys. I know Sam has to go. We are almost at the top of the hour.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sawan. Yeah, I mean, it's very sad, but what I always wanted to say, many people used to say, okay, the situation is like this because I'm poor, or things like that. But I always want to tell the people, you can be very poor, but very clean. You understand? It's just a mindset, you know? Because to get water and clean a place or wash your hands, I don't think it's very, very, very expensive. So one can do that. So the area councils the same thing. They'll try to build a shop maybe, but then leaving the date somewhere. I mean that is it's as if sometimes we don't see the necessities of cleaning or putting away waste or trash somewhere. You know, and on the other hand, I can understand some people because when they sit there at this dirty water trying to sell, because there is no other possibility from the area councils or I don't know municipals to give them this chance to be in a clean place and then selling their goods. Because I don't think that they do that just because they are enjoying that. No. But in Africa, it's oft like that the people risk even their life just to be alive. So you can see it's very sharp here, but it's like that, you know. So they risk. You can see that we are having corona now. It's getting more in the whole world. And what are we doing now in Gambia? Many people throw their mask and tell you it's over. You know, sometimes and you said it here. We are not having a lot of facilities health wise. You know, but that's how we also risk other things. You know, when we know that there is nothing in the hospital, we don't have a lot of ventilators and all. And if you get corona, if you are not lucky, you'll die because we are not having anything there. That's why we should even take more care to be afraid of corona instead of saying it's over. Don't wash hands, don't wear a mask, and doing what we want when we know that at the end of the day we have nothing to save our lives. You know, so I think that is very important that we Gambians also know that for the health section, apart from MRC, if you are lucky, you know, it's the same I used to say. I mean, if I don't have money, I have to be careful with going with money. I mean, handling with money. You know, so it seems that we do a lot of mistakes. You know, but I respect Bakary and I support such organizations because there are lot of things the government cannot do it all by himself. I mean, he said mentioned it also because this is not only in Africa. Even here, you will see that the government support. That is it. The best. The government here used to motivate such groups because they know what they are doing. If they were supposed to employ people, they are going to pay a lot. So they'll instead motivate them with certain incentives, things like that. You know? For example, the fire service, they'll buy fire service cars for them with how to call it, maintenance and all, and insurance and all. They'll take over everything, you know, and support them sometimes also when they have other problems. So that must be a system, you know. But you know, in Gambia, it's a poor place. If I see sometimes some dogs, they'll be even thrown stones. They don't have anything to eat because nobody cares, you know. To give them something to eat, then many people will say, before I give a dog something to eat, I have to eat first, which is also right. But the dogs are there, they are also living beings. They need also to be, and don't throw them stones. So that means we don't respect the animals.
I
That's
think
where
I
it
think
starts.
that was okay. Thank you so much for that, Alas, for those final words. Sam, I know you want to go. You want to say something and go. So we're gonna end up here, and then we get ready for next week. Definitely.
Yeah, I just want to thanks Alice, thanks to Bakary, and thanks to you, Sawaneh, for and hosting this. Definitely is a good program, and it really can be expanded. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to environment and sanitation and food safety. I mean, there's so much to do, and unfortunately, Gambia is way behind times, and this is part of the problem. People are getting sick. They're getting sick. They don't know why they're getting sick, and they don't know what happened, how it happened, and things like that. So the bottom line is public awareness is very important to be able to have some programs on television where they can educate people about this. But at the same time, the National Assembly works with the government, puts some laws together, the government enforces to make sure that all of these with the local area councilors to make sure that we bring awareness to people, but also help them with the tools and technology they need to be able to facilitate all of this. So that's important. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you all. I really got to go. So
Thank you, Sam, yeah, for your appointment today.
yep,
Okay, thank
yep,
you. Have a
Thank you,
good day
Sam.
too.
And then
yep.
again, thank you, Alice, for coming. And this is so
Yeah,
much to talk about this.
thank
I
you,
guess we're
Mr.
gonna catch up
Sawane.
with more stuff next week,
Yeah,
and then continue from there. But environment is always very important. I mean,
Important, yeah. I know.
I know Bakary has really started this small and his group, but we have to understand one thing. In Gambia, we have to make sure that like we take action as citizens, because what I notice is that if you don't take initiative and do little things, um, the government and then people in the National Assembly, they are not seeing these things and they probably neglect them because they think they're not important. But those things to preserve trees, to save animals' life, to make sure that like environment is protected and taken care of is very important. If you look at the Western world, that's what they do best. They create the environment. They make sure that there are trees all over the place. They make sure that like have a reserve environment where nobody is going to build, and they do that to make sure that the public necessity is met. But nowadays, Gambia, you go there, like he was saying, you see tree cut everywhere. They don't mind, you know. I'm pretty sure this is not all for firewood. This has to do with somebody coming.
That is the timber business. What was going on the last years? The timber business in
The
Gambia.
timber business. This has to do with foreigners coming and taking our stuff. I had Senegal even when like mangoes. We used to have mangoes. I mean, like we used to grow mangoes and have them. Like ripe. We eat them. We enjoy them. But nowadays, by the time the mango start to get by the time the mango
Go ahead.
is ready to get ripe, they would come in with their trucks when it's just at green like that, not even there yet. They will come in with their trucks, bags, they cut everything and take it to Senegal. I don't know what they do with it, but it's not even the mango hasn't even been done yet to eat. So they will take it there
Yeah, they are going to
and then
use this
sell it.
rife gas. We call it. It's a
Exactly.
gas. It's a special gas. So they'll put it there. Then it will look like if it is already ripe, then they can sell it. That's the business. But people should
So
know because really it's not a ripe thing. They do it with bananas and all. So
exactly.
you need to know that
So
first.
so they're doing all that in order to, because they see the demand in it. But what I'm trying to say is that you know right now we need to protect our area. Some of those things there should be laws and say, listen, you cannot come to the community and take this and take that and take that. The people have to enjoy it. So technically, people are not enjoying their mangoes. It's well before they are done. It's already taken out and
Mhm.
getting sold. So this is why these are some of the things that we should be focusing on. I know it's a little thing. I mean, people might not be so concerned about it, but what Bakary and others are doing, it means a lot, because if we talk about it, if we get involved in those kind of things, maybe that will create an awareness where the government can come and say, or the lawmakers can come and say, listen, we need to reserve these things. We need to put policies in place. You know, everybody must plant a tree. Like he's saying that, like they assign each and every one of them to plant a tree before they finish secondary school. All those are good ideas. So Alas, if you don't have anything, we can end up until next week.
Yeah, it's okay because I also have something after to do.
Yeah,
It's okay. The time is okay. I mean, what you've said is okay. They should support such organizations.
yeah,
Not only for them but for us also. Because when you support them, they go and clean the beach for us, and the next day you have to go to the beach and they're trying to rest there. So I think instead of discouraging them, we should motivate them. People should just understand how important the environment is. I think people should be informed. What I always used to say, people should be informed, and the government can also support them because instead of taking the cleansing service and then come and clean that area and so and paying for that, if I have some people, motivated Gambians, who want to do it, that the government try to give them help somehow. It's no law. The government should not do it. But in this case, they are not asking for salaries. They are also doing it from their heart. as support to the nation. So, I mean, I think one can discuss everything. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Sam. Thank you so much, and we catch up next week definitely. All right. Take care.